y'all doing? This is your boy Lord Thadeus, Kray. Okay, this one's going to be kind of humorous, but at the same time, it's going to be a serious video. It's not, it's not about a cryptid per se. This is definitely about a creature that is surprisingly well known, but there are so much things misunderstood about the creature. I'm talking about one of the Japanese yokai, the Kitsune. Yeah, most of the time people think that these creatures are adorable fox girls that want to try to get in your pants, or are stupid or ditzy. Well, they're beautiful many times, and they may want to get in your pants, but you might lose what's in your pants. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like also that pesky little thing, you call your organs. Ain't like you're gonna need them either. Yeah, just go ahead and, yeah, you want to have the night of your life. Yeah, you're gonna have the death of your life. My point is this: these creatures are not, they're interesting actually. They're basically supposedly Japanese fox spirits. And some of them are made flesh. Some of the old stories, of course, the last story I did, which was called The Broken One, was about a Kitsune. More like a fallen Kitsune to a degree. It was, of course, a fairly famous figure in Japanese folklore. But moving on from that, if you want to listen to it, please do. I think you might enjoy it. What I'm saying is this: these creatures are very interesting. Most Japanese yokai are, believe me, let me tell you, they're interesting because many of them have a dual nature. It's like with many European a lot of European folklore, you have good and bad. There ain't no really gray too much. Sometimes there are, but for the most part, you have black and white, which I understand. But I'm just saying the Eastern mindset definitely has good and evil. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of these entities are more of a gray, which is interesting in the way they interact with people. Is usually not trying to kill you or do worse than kill you, or anything like that. A lot of times they are curious by nature. And the Kitsune is one of those type of creatures. The horrible stuff I described was if you either run into one of the bad ones or you piss one off. And believe me, it can happen. But it's very interesting in the fact that a lot of these spirits, they take the forms of a human being, see how a human or mortal they may have taken a fancy to will react around them, and just different things. Like a lot of times, if I remember right, they'll take the form of a woman, and a fella would, of course they're not human, so they're going to appear abnormally beautiful. Maybe a little bit of a certain feature, like maybe a type of, you might see one of their tails or whatever. The thing is, for the most part, they're human in appearance. And it's very interesting, they would trick human males and even have kids. It's very interesting. Have a family. And sometimes to the time of them passing on. The human passing on. It's very interesting how these things work. And the thing is that also what they're scared of is unique. Like any fox. They don't like hunting dogs. I'm talking to you. And also they don't like bright lights, which is typical stuff for foxes. Because especially your red-tailed fox, a lot of these critters are potentially nocturnal, depending on their environment. So I'm saying it's simple. They are very unique in the way they react around people, to a degree. And also, you have what's known as a fall. Of course, you have different types. You have some that they supposedly follow, I want to say Shinto beliefs and everything else. And these creatures are very, the good ones are very ordained to follow the rules, as well as, watch after people. Maybe, bless someone's crops, for example, back in the day, or whatever. Of course, you have the Nogitsune, which is kind of interesting. This is one thing I've found out when it comes to lower type spirits and entities anyway. They ain't bound by certain rules. They just don't give a damn. The Nogitsune is kind of one of those types of entity. They basically live by their own code, and when I was joking around, basically about your organs and everything else being gone, there's a good chance of that if you piss one of them off. Do I think these creatures exist? Very much possible. Very much possible. I mean, hell, if Dogman and Bigfoot exists, these creatures, which are part of, there's different names for them. You have the Hulijing in China, I think, yeah. And of course you have the Kumiho in Korea. Of course you have the Kitsune in Japan. These creatures, there's too many stories of them, basically similarities between different nations. Hell, you even have a version of this thing in India, I think. It's just very interesting how these creatures seem to be able to pervade so many Asian cultures, mythology. And also, what's so interesting is they really love to react and interact with people. You know, I mean, it's not like, I'm just saying, you know, a lot of these entities, especially the supernatural type, seem to really love to be around people. And of course, these guys are shapeshifters, so naturally they'll be able to fit in just fine under under most circumstances. But the deal is that some of these beings supposedly have affected history. You know, like I said in my story about Lady Tamamo, she was responsible, which is true. She was supposedly, according to stories and legend, responsible for the fall of 2 dynasties. She tried to nail one of the emperors in Japan. She was also responsible for only God knows how much death in India. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, you know, that's the thing. You don't understand, man. I'm just telling you. Also, there's a thing called fox possession, which is scary as hell in itself. People don't understand how much some of these creatures influence people. Am I going to say they're demonic? Yes and no. I believe certainly that, like I've said, I think it was about a couple of other entities. There you have old world creatures, and this is definitely one of them. Very old world. You can't. I'm just saying. Not everything is an angel or a demon. I believe this is something kind of outside of the box, and this is definitely old world. Basically, again, when it comes to old world entities, most of them simply desire to be respected or left alone. You ain't got a problem with me, buddy. I'm leaving you alone. So therefore, this is something to think about. Also, what's so interesting is supposedly every century they live, they get another tail. Of course, 9 is the most they can get, and they become more powerful. Their abilities can be everything from matter manipulation, supposedly, to possession, of course, shape-changing, heightened strength, scary stuff. And, of course, psionic abilities, I mean, spiritual especially, just stuff that, you know, like I said, in my story, I kind of made everything. I mean, you got to remember, in the story of the Broken One, I based a lot of that stuff on movies I'd seen, and of course, my own wild imagination. And you may have noticed that I based a little bit off of Alien. Yeah, hey, let's go ahead and explore and see this. Let's go ahead and try it out and see what happens. Yeah, we have no sense. You know, we've read all the ancient texts, you know, the warnings, you know, of whatever is in this damn rock. Hey, let's go ahead and open it. And just for the record, in 2022, the rock was cracked, I think, for a natural. The killing stone for Lady Tamamo was opened, but it was by a natural means and not morons. Just, you know, that was really when I saw that. That's what gave me the idea for the story. So anyway, I figured this would be something a little different and entertaining to the least. And believe me, when I started reading about just all this stuff, I was entertained like you wouldn't believe. So either way, you guys know what I do. I'm the producer for Dark Waters Entertainment. If you've had any kind of cryptid experience or encounter, hit me up, Westvic at IamDarkWaters.com, or same thing with a paranormal. You guys know what I do. You guys be blessed and you be safe.